Hello, everyone. Welcome to Advanced Monday Afternoon Live Stream. I'm your host, Peter, and as you can see, we're joined this week by David.
What's up, everybody? Good to see you.
Good to have David with us here, especially this week. Little sad note here, but perhaps fitting with our theme. This is Teacher David's last live stream, as far as we know.
Last live stream this week.
This week, yes. So it's possible that you may see Teacher David joining us for the live stream at some point in the future, sort of as a, in a guest starring kind of role. But I'm sorry, should we not talk about this?
No, it's fine. What I'm going to do, though, in the future, I'm like, it'll be you and John here, and then I'll just pop up behind you guys.
Oh, that would be so neat.
No one's going to know I'm
just,
here.
It'd suddenly come up behind that, yeah.
And I'll just go, and then I'll disappear. Yeah.
Anyway, as I said, we are talking to you today about a theme taken from your trusty Advanced magazine, as always. This week, the last week of July, we have an article right almost on the last day, active at 102. It's about this woman who lives by herself in New York City, and she's 102 years old. 102. She's what the scientists call a super ager.
Yeah.
A super ager. That's an actual term you'll find here. A super ager, someone who lives 95 years or more, and they've been studying these super agers to see what their secrets are for their long life, and one of them is they consistently have a positive outlook on life, a positive attitude. And so we thought, hey, let's talk about how to stay positive today. We start, as always, with our poll. You can chime in on the poll. Simple question. Are you a positive person? You bet I am. Most of the time. Good days and bad days. Positive people are weird. Now, that last one, we're having a little bit of fun, but I think it's getting at this idea we have of some kind of people that we call positive seem to be people who are so positive, who are so happy and always smiling that they almost seem a little out of touch with reality. Mm-hmm. Because the reality is, life is tough. Let's not sugarcoat it here. Life is tough. There's a hardship in life. And so we need to understand what we mean about being a positive person. But David, are you a positive person? Where would you list yourself on these?
I would list myself probably where everyone else is listing themselves, like somewhere around most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah.
Nowadays, I think I'd probably say most of the time. I think in my younger years, maybe 15 years ago, maybe it'd be more like good days and bad days. But I think that as my perspective on life has matured, I've come to kind of not get so caught up on my own problems or my own issues, and then try to just look at the world with a mix of an awareness that there's always something horrible going on somewhere. But on the other hand, there's always seems to be this universal bend towards hope and a belief that things can and eventually will get better. And that also inspires me to try and be a part of that hope as opposed to just adding more gloom onto everything.
Right. Great. Good example of a positive attitude, a positive person. And yeah, like he said, poll-wise, it looks like most of the time, you're a positive person. 50% of you, half of you out there are a positive person most of the time. About 38% of you have good days and bad days. 6% of you bet I am a positive person. Good for you, 6%. And 6% also say positive people are weird. So good to have a nice mix of you all out there. I think, for myself, I would probably say most of the time I'm a positive person. And it's because sometimes it's difficult to be a positive person, but that is the great value of always, let's say, pursuing positivity, always trying to get back to a positive sense so that when the hardship comes, it doesn't take us down too much.
That's right.
We shouldn't pretend like tough times and trouble and bad things don't exist, but it's a question of how much do they weigh us down and how long are we down before we start to get back up and start to get back into a positive outlook and a positive attitude. So we've got some vocabulary for you today that'll address some ideas about how to stay positive. And let's see, do we have, oh yes, we missed David already. Who's this from Studio Classroom chiming in here? Oh, how nice. We missed David already. He is a very positive person. This is true. This is true. Anyway, let's give you our first vocab word here, which is really going to set the table for our talk here today. Very important word. Pollyanna.
Pollyanna.
Pollyanna. Pollyanna. Sounds like someone's name, right? Sounds like a woman's name, and it actually is. It's from an American novel from the late 19th century called Pollyanna, but it's become a word in English now, Pollyanna, to mean what?
Many Annas, so the Greek root poly, meaning many.
Now, you'd have to take out one of the L's.
Oh, you're right.
Pollyanna. This is...
Pollyanna is, it describes a person who is positive but without sense. Like, they're just happy and smiling all the time at the expense of a real mature look at reality.
Right. Pollyanna is like being naive. It is an optimism. It is a positive outlook, but it is naive. It's an outlook that sort of pretends like there's nothing bad in the world or pretends like there's nothing wrong with them. To describe someone as Pollyanna or to say, oh, that is Pollyanna-ish thinking means it is optimism without cause. It is just sort of a willful blindness to bad things and the realities of life.
Is this kind of like when they say that someone is wearing rose-colored glasses?
Yes, it's a little stronger than that, but yeah, that's a good one. It's not on our list, but rose-colored glasses, you put glasses on, and if they are rose-colored, you will see everything in the color of rose, everything in the color of red. And so figuratively, that can be used to mean that, he walks around with rose-colored glasses means everything he looks at, good or bad, is good or is, rose-colored, because rose is usually associated with something good, something nice. So yeah, rose-colored glasses, similar to Pollyanna.
Okay.
And Steve, hello. What happened? Is teacher David going to leave Studio Classroom?
I will still be in Taiwan. I will be doing some other things, exploring some other possibilities, but I'll be around. You should come to the Christmas rally. I'll be there.
He'll be there for the Christmas rally. It's, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Anyway, point being, Pollyanna, we're not, when we say, are you a positive person, we're not talking about being a Pollyanna, about being positive and optimistic without cause. It's just, that's the kind of person a lot of people may be thinking of when they say positive people are weird. They may be thinking of people who just, walk around with a smile on their face, no matter what's happening, the world's falling down, but I've got a smile on my face.
Right.
You can't relate to that kind of person. They're out of touch with reality. Pollyanna. Very important words. Okay, so let's get to some more vocabulary here. Here's a nice simple one. Bullish.
Bullish.
Yes, bullish. I bet some of you might be able to guess what that means, but David, spoil it for them.
All right, so bullish here is another word of, another way of describing someone who is like confident and optimistic. Like you're ready to, like a bull, it sees what it wants and it just charges towards it, right? A optimistic, confident person sees what they want and they're not thinking about the challenges. They're not thinking about, oh, it might not work. They're just like, great, this is my chance, and they go for it.
Yes, to be bullish. Some of you might recognize it from the world of finance when we talk about the stock market, the New York stock market anyway. Is it a bull market or a bear market? If it's bull, that means it's going up and up and up. If it's a bear market, that means it's going down and down and down. So to be bullish about something, inside or outside of finance, means to be positive about it. I'm bullish on my sports team's chances for the championship this year. They've got a good team this year. The fan base is energized. I'm bullish on their chances. That's but yeah, basically another word that just means positive, optimistic, hopeful. I'm bullish on this new project we're doing. I'm bullish on your chances to find a new job or something like that, because he's such a talented, positive guy.
Don't want to be bullish in a china shop, though.
No, definitely not. Good one. He's got a million of them. But let's give you another vocab word, mantra. You might know this one. It's from an Eastern cultural context. M-A-N-T-R-A, mantra. What's that?
Mantra. A mantra is, in the modern sense, or at least in the Western sense, kind of a phrase or an idea that is a guiding principle for your life. For example, like actually some of the phrases that we're going to learn next could be mantras, things that you repeat to yourself, on a daily basis, moment to moment, a kind of idea that guides your frame of mind.
Right. And in, I believe, the Hindu religion, or some part of the Hindu religion, a mantra is a word or short phrase that you repeat over and over, literally over and over again as you're walking around the day. So, I'm at peace, I'm at peace, hello, I'm at peace, I'm at peace, how are you, David? I'm at peace. Yeah. That's sort of the literal meaning of mantra. In our discussion, and in English generally, when someone says, oh yeah, that's my mantra, it means it's something that they come back to often to guide themselves through a difficult situation, to sort of reorient themselves when they feel confused or lost, that sort of thing. So it's like a mantra light, you might say. Oh, and Steve?
No, SDA says, I don't think we should be positive.
Wow, interesting perspective, SDA. The eyeballs there.
I think I understand what he means, though, or they mean. It's sort of like sometimes people feel like if I am positive, then that opens me up to the possibility of being disappointed. Because maybe I'm trying to stay positive, but then something bad happens, and then, oh no, I was trying to be positive and look, this bad thing has happened. I think it depends on how you are being positive. You know, being positive is not saying nothing bad is going to happen. Being positive, for me at least, is saying bad things might happen, but it's not the end of the world.
Right.
There's some good that we can find in it. There's some other way that I can pivot to a new opportunity if this thing fails or if this thing falls through. Oh, that's okay. I can find another way. Like they say, when a door closes, a window might open somewhere else. Like that's a healthy form of positive thinking that won't just leave you feeling let down when bad things happen.
Yes, yes. Very good nuance. And thank you for the comment, too. We want to have a rich, full discussion here in our 15 minutes. But yes, no, thank you. I seriously do appreciate that perspective. Because, again, we're not trying to promote a kind of Pollyanna-ism here, where we just whitewash everything and lose all sense of nuance in this complex world that we live in. In fact, the kind of positivity we're talking about, another way to understand it, is the positivity of how do we respond to a situation. Do we respond to a situation by just saying, by becoming more to hardship by saying, oh, I have less and less hope, nothing's ever going to change, or I'm a bad person? Or do we respond by saying, okay, things are tough. Life disappoints you sometimes, you feel pain sometimes, but what do we do next?
That's right, what do you do next?
What do we do in response to that? That's where a positive response will be more helpful in the long run than a negative response. And Janet, yes, positive thinking helped me out of depression. Good for you, Janet. Great.
Hallelujah.
In fact, with that, we're going to keep giving you, we've got some idioms and we've got some more vocabulary for you, but Janet reminds me that we want to give you guys another discussion question so that you can contribute more to this conversation. So again, simple one. We try to keep it simple here. What is one of your tips for staying positive? One of your own personal tips from your own experience for staying positive? Let us know in the comments section. Steve, as always, right there with an answer. When I was thinking about staying positive, I will try to look for some hobbies that I can do. I was thinking about watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Secret of Ooze. Absolutely, yes.
Oh, that movie is the jam. That was the one from the 90s, I think.
Wow. I read the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic book when it was still kind of edgy and kind of violent, really, but cool. But it wasn't quite the guys sitting around ordering a pizza and that sort of thing. I hear great things about the media creations that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have led to since then. Joy, David, will I hear your voice in AD episode frequently, in an advanced episode frequently?
I'll be around. You'll hear me from time to time. No worries.
Yeah, we've got him on AI now anyway.
Yeah, they got me on AI. I'm actually not even here. I'm
sure. You'll be able to hear his voice whenever we want you to.
I'm a hologram.
But thanks. That comment, Steve, brings us to a good vocab question. Vocab word. And that word, simple one, but interesting in our discussion of positivity. Errand.
Errand.
E-R-R-A-N-D. Errand. David, what's the basic meaning of errand?
The basic meaning of errand is a small task that you do throughout your day. Like when people say, oh, I have some errands to do or some errands to run this afternoon. Going to the grocery store, going to the post office, little things that you set out to do during your day.
Right. And in our discussion of staying positive, an errand is a word used by an American writer, Henry James, from the 19th century. He has this expression, we all need to have an absorbing errand to take us out of ourselves. And that is a key idea for staying positive or for responding positively to a situation, is having some kind of focus outside of ourselves so that it takes us outside of ourselves and puts our focus not on whether we feel happy or sad, but on this thing or this person or this situation or even this problem that is outside of ourselves, so we aren't constantly thinking, am I in a good mood? Am I in a bad mood? Am I positive? Am I negative? And James, the writer, described it as an absorbing errand, which I think is good because if you call it like a goal or a project, that can sound intimidating. That can, where do I start? It can sound too big. But an errand, like David was saying, an errand is just something I have to go down to the street to get some eggs, or I have to go get the mail, or I have to meet this person. An errand, an absorbing errand that takes you outside of yourself. And that's key to staying positive. Finding it could be, like Steve says, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It could be a hobby you have. It could be a relationship you have. Something that allows you to focus outside of yourself when you're not feeling so good, so that you aren't focusing on whether you're feeling good or bad. That's the secret.
There's some great examples of that. So SDA says you can watch Mr. Beast videos, doing something stressful to take your mind off of other stress. That could work. Hanging out with friends, of course. Daniel said he likes the science. Oh, thank you. I enjoy writing those science articles. Thank you very much, Daniel. And Janet says reading books, doing exercise, listening to music, watching TED Talks, etc. Those are all really great ways to take your mind off of temporary frustrations.
Yes, and just to be clear, when we talk about that errand, it's not just looking at my phone because it is outside of myself. It's not about just doom scrolling or just an errand is a goal or a project of some sort, like working in a garden. Or working out, like Janet said.
Or building Gundam models.
Yeah. Exactly. Some kind of hobby or skill that just takes your mind off of your emotional state. Having an errand, very helpful for staying positive. One more word we want to give you here. We're already looking at the door here and realizing we need to wind up soon. But here's another vocab word you might not always think about with regard to positivity. Contagious.
Contagious.
C-O-N-T-A-G-I-O-U-S. Contagious. David, what does contagious mean?
If something is contagious, it means that if you're around other people that have this thing, it can catch on to you. You can begin to have it too. We usually talk about this when discussing diseases, like, COVID-19 is contagious. If you're in a room with other people, then you might get it. But positivity is also contagious. If you spend lots of time with positive people, you will be a positive person too.
Right. So try in your social relationships to have some positive people in your orbit that you relate to from time to time, that you see on a regular or a semi-regular basis, because positivity, like negativity, is contagious. We are affected by the people that we hang out with. There are all sorts of sayings and proverbs about that in English. Be careful who you choose to be your friends. We can't choose our family members, of course. We can't choose who are related to, so we don't have complete freedom of choice in all our relationships as much as we might like to. But when it comes to friends or people that we can choose, use wisdom when you choose your friends, who you hang out with, and try to have some people, even if they're a little too positive. You know, it's not like you have to marry these people, you have to be with them all the time. Just have them in your circle so that when you're particularly down, when you're particularly struggling with something, you can perhaps talk to them and just get a bit of lift, because that positivity is contagious, like a cold. Anyway,
we will do our best not to die. Thank you for the reminder, SDA.
Oh, SDA. Thanks for all the suggestions.
Thank you all the suggestions.
Yeah.
And it's been fantastic talking about the subject with you guys.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. If you can believe it, we're already out of time today, but we're going to close just by giving you a quick idiom. Rome wasn't built in a day. One of my favorite expressions. Rome wasn't built in a day. The great imperial city of Rome, this is referring to classical Rome, when it was like the greatest city in the world 2,000 odd years ago. Rome wasn't built in a day. It's true. Great things do not happen overnight. And that is an important thing to remember when you're disappointed in a project of some sort or didn't quite reach a goal of some sort. It can be so helpful to say, hey, hang on, Rome wasn't built in a day.
That's right.
Because it's true, but Rome was built. And that great, enormous ancient city with the Colosseum and the aqueducts, and, you know, say what you will about the Roman government, but the city of Rome itself was this great human accomplishment, but it took time. And good things in life often take time. Even learning how to develop a positive attitude can take time. So as you're working on this, thinking about this, and especially practicing your English, remember, Rome wasn't built in a day.
That's right.
And that can just give you some perspective on it and, help you get back into it after you've rested for a bit. Anyway, we got to get back to our regular office jobs here. Can't hang out with you people anymore until next Monday, when we will be back at this same time.
Same advanced time, same advanced channel.
With a new topic for you, a new chance to practice your English. Until then, though, we're going to go out and stay positive. Bye-bye, everyone.
See you later.
Ooh, careful, you hit that.
Oh. Is he okay?
Yeah.